Hi, I'm Paul Roberts, Artsy1. The topic for today is, why is there no such thing as divorce? There's no such thing as divorce because people that are truly married, in the full sense, cannot do it. Not don't choose to do it, but cannot do it. Even if they wanted to, they could not do it. And the reason is because in the definition of marriage, in the truest sense of what marriage is, so few people achieve it that the number of people in the world that are truly married is very, very low. If you take another person and you develop a heightened conscience that is together with that person, joined together, you cannot separate. It becomes who you are. Your point of view, your spiritual quest, your whole perspective on everything becomes a new thing. You can never separate again, because if you do and your body goes this way and your body go this way, if you're willing to do that, if one of you or both of you are willing to do that, then this unification that I'm talking about never occurred. Nobody would go and cut off their own arm. Nobody would leave anybody that was as significant as this. I don't care if you don't like certain factors of how you were running your life. I don't care if you've changed and evolved on your own and the other person was left behind, or you went a different direction. These things are all things that cause divorce, falling out of love. All these things are in the real world, in the delusional world that comprise our surroundings, that so many people live in, that so many people think that's what it is. If you succumb to the forces in that realm and to find yourself and your marriage and everything about everything you know commonly with another person in that realm, you're susceptible to complete failure from day one. The only reason you were living together in marriage that you called it that was because others have told you should. You thought it would help you to build towards something. You got needs and desires fulfilled through that. You thought that it would be wrong of you to live any other way. You thought it would be more convenient, or you'd be financially more successful, or you'd have the joy of raising children, or you'd be more able to take on the onslaught of the damaging things of this world and be successful at whatever you put your mind to. These are all things in the real world. These are all reasons for the real world to become married. And this is why it crumbles. And divorce exists in the real world. But divorce in the truest sense of the word does not exist at all. Because divorce would require you to first become truly married. I submit to you that hardly anybody on this planet is truly married. The path toward being truly married is the same as the path towards enlightenment and the search for truth and the finding the narrow way towards higher consciousness that makes you understand what your Creator designed this place to be about, and you're linking into it. Not because you can use the terms of spirituality and religion and Christianity or whatever. That's irrelevant. You say, I'm a believer. I believe in God. I believe God sanctioned marriage. I believe in Jesus. I believe he was the head of the church, and the man is to be the head of the household and the head of the family like Jesus, and that was the example. And you can say all those things you want, but you can't say them and truly believe them if you get divorced. Because what you're doing is you're admitting that you did not make that covenant between yourself and the Creator and the forces of the universe and meld with that other individual in mind, body, and spirit and become a new entity, which is what marriage is. And it is only because you did not do that that you were able to part ways. Can divorce actually happen? How can it? if a true marriage actually happened. We have people all over the planet not having true marriages, just going through rituals, doing what society says they should, doing what seems appropriate to them as they go on through life. The melding process that a marriage creates and the heightened conscience that I will help you to develop happens in tandem with two individuals, and when it does, the emergence of that is so unique and fascinating and complete, it can't be torn apart. You wouldn't even want to tear it apart. You can't have a regular little old stale thing happen like, oh, things aren't going good for us, or, I didn't see it like this earlier, or, I found something better, or just things in life just moved us apart from one another. These things don't happen. Because once your conscience is heightened, you can't have those weak things come in and tear it apart. Once you can see something, you don't ever go blind again. You don't become susceptible to the same slings and arrows as you had before you had the heightened conscience. Most people are going to think I'm out of my mind. And I am. I know that I know nothing. I have gone completely to where I can tell you nothing for certain. But the advantage that I have is that I know that you also can tell me nothing for certain. So, in the sense that I'm out of my mind to have realized this, I now am with a right mind. And because you are confident and well-founded and rooted, you, being a part of the system of delusion, are the one that is truly out of their mind. So now we have the person that knows nothing leading the person that knows everything. It makes no sense until you study it and comprehend it and awaken your conscience to a heightened level where you can understand what's being said. This is what I do with my counseling services. This is what I help people to understand and visualize and provide themselves the ability to perceive these things and create perspectives that create alternative waveforms that can lay on top of one another and cancel out the problems of this world and help them to become people who are wise and know they know nothing. And so because they know that they know nothing, they then can know. This is what I do at artsy1.com. If you're interested in me working with you on these subjects, I will. I hope you'll talk with me about these things. I'd be glad to talk with you about them further. But, and I also want to say, this does not mean because you can come to see this, that all of a sudden, you go ahead and might as well get a divorce because, you don't have anything going on. You didn't do it right, because you said that you were going to pledge yourself. You didn't fully realize what you were saying, perhaps, but you said it. You meant it at some time. You know what? You owe it to the other person, and you owe it to yourself to finalize that pledge, to go and see that pledge all the way through, even if you didn't know the fullness of what you were saying when you first said it. That's why marriage cannot ever lead to divorce. Because if the people in it are doing what they should be and what they would be if they truly were married, it just wouldn't happen. Think about it. I'm Paul Roberts, Artsy1, Conscious Counseling 101. Visit me at artsy1.com. I'll talk to you in the next segment.